Hey yo, welcome in. Hey hey,
Hello. Good evening. How y'all
good
doing?
evening. How's it going, Austin?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Josiah?
Doing good, man. I'm doing
All
good.
right. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we are the
Super
Super Cinema
Cinema Bros.
Bro.
Yeah,
Clap for us.
yeah. Welcome on in,
All
guys.
right. All right. We are live and direct. We are here.
Mm-hmm.
We are always traversing and trying to navigate through an assortment of sound, audio, level, mixing issues before we go live. So I really hope that we are coming in loud and clear.
I hope
We do
so.
our best to have pristine audio. And
We
so yeah,
try.
if you guys are here, welcome. And yeah, let's get into it. Josiah, what movie are we reviewing this evening?
Give me one half second. I'm trying to see why chat is not showing up for me. Uh
Uh-oh.
oh no. Chat, where did you guys go? Where are you? We
Movie
need
are we
you.
reviewing this evening?
Where are you?
One half second. I'm trying to see why chat
Why?
is not showing up for me.
Control
All right.
panel.
Well, in the meantime, I can see it on my phone, so
Okay. All right.
I'll be keeping my eyes on it as we go through the movie review.
Dang. I think it logged me out. Let me yeah. Give us a this is welcome to the jank. Give us a little description of this movie while I do some logging in.
All right. So the film that we are reviewing this evening is Darren Aronofsky's Caught Stealing. This movie stars Austin Butler, Chloe Kravitz. It also has Mr. D'Onofrio. I forget his first name. And an assortment of characters. It has Regina King in it, and it is an interesting story, I'll say, about a guy who is a bartender, has a neighbor. Neighbor asks him to watch his cat, and while he is out for his father's funeral, and this is all in the trailer, by the way, folks start looking for him, and in the process of them looking for him, his neighbor, the main character played by Austin Butler, gets dragged into this whole world where everyone's looking for his neighbor and he's nowhere to be found, and the main character's life is just spiraling out of control and his life is being threatened, and he has to kind of find out how to make his way through this and survive. That is the non-spoiler description, summary, synopsis of this film. Did I excuse me, did I miss anything, Josiah? Does that sound about right?
That's sounding pretty accurate to me. So to be honest, look, first big surprise of the night, I had a kid. And so I know this, yeah, I've missed a few Mondays, we missed a few Mondays, but it's because we got a little one up in the house. Yeah. Yeah. Um and in combination of such things, I was a tad bit late to this movie. Just a tiny little teensy bit late to this movie. So, and in yeah, we'll get to like maybe I'll ask you to fill me in on like some of the things that happened at the beginning of the movie. But did you wind up covering his background? A little bit of what like why the movie is maybe called Caught Stealing.
Okay, so from this point on, oh, and I can hear my echo. From this point on, we will be spoiler reviewing the film. Okay. Okay. I'm still a little bit curious as to why the film was called Caught Stealing.
Hmm.
It is a baseball reference. The main character, Austin Butler's character, was a promising baseball prospect, and
Mm.
he very well may have gone pro.
Oh shoot, my bad. I was in. That was a straight up accident, guys. I need to get my man back on.
Are we back?
Yeah,
I just said he had a flourishing career. I didn't know. I didn't know.
I was
I didn't
done
know that
with
was
it.
gonna.
I was over it.
Yeah.
You know what? And then I
All right.
realized, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The show needs to continue for these guys. They need to know
Yeah.
what's up.
So he's a big Giants fan. He's always calling his mom, and uh, I'm not entirely sure why they titled the movie this way.
Hmm.
Maybe it's a reference that I'm missing, uh, because the main character didn't really steal anything, um, and he's trying to survive and make his way through. I'm not
May you
exactly
come a little
sure.
closer to the
Uh,
mic?
when Here, hang on. All right. So I'm not exactly
That's coming
sure.
too close. I'm sorry. Try to be like a foot away from it. I'm so
All
sorry.
right. How is this? Is this good right here?
That's still
How are we doing?
a tad bit close.
Okay, hang on. Hang on. All right. All right. All right. All right. How are we doing right now? So far, so good. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are having some interesting technical difficulties this evening, but we're going to keep rolling. As I was saying,
Unfortunately, yeah, these difficulties are the strangest. Like Austin is getting picked up by my microphone somehow, even though I'm hearing him through my headphones. It's not coming through anything else. For whatever reason, the system wants to still pick up his audio through my stuff.
yeah, there's like bugs in OBS. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure why it's called Caught Stealing,
Hmm.
given what happened in the movie, and we'll get into that. But yeah, the title, I personally am still a little unclear. I would be interested to hear what you think as to why they called it Caught Stealing. What do you
Hmm.
think?
I mean, it's only the baseball reference element. I was sort of waiting throughout the movie to find exactly why that was also, and I felt as if hmm, maybe maybe something in the very beginning of the movie would have like cleared that up completely for me, but
Mm. No, I mean I saw the movie beginning to end, and I didn't
yeah,
say anything that
yeah.
clearly. I mean, he's a baseball fan. Um, it's a baseball reference. You know, you're stealing a base. Um,
Maybe the only thing is it's like okay, so caught stealing to me sounds like a very active kind of description that the main character is trying to do something, trying to achieve something, trying to get further in life, trying to get closer to his goal, but then is interrupted and caught in the middle of that attempt. Um, for me personally, I don't know. I don't know what moment that was specifically, and maybe is
yeah,
is it an allusion to like him having like been trying to become a pro. I don't. Yeah, there was for okay. It might be just
he didn't
completely going over
steal
my head,
anything.
but there was no moment where he was like, "Oh yeah, he was actively trying to steal the money and take the money, and he got intercepted." Like, yeah, there was
Yeah,
no
so
moment.
Yeah, so the main character is a complete like horror story victim of circumstance.
Yeah.
He was trying to do his neighbor a favor. He was trying to
Mhm.
do him a solid by looking after his cat, and he just happened to walk out of his, front door at the wrong time. And yeah, I mean, you see it in the trailer. He gets jumped by these two, uh, you know, decidedly Eastern European gentlemen. Um, so, and again, I've already given the spoiler alert, so we'll get into it. But yeah, basically, he is trying to navigate through a sticky situation that does not directly involve him or really have anything to do with him, but because he's standing in as the surrogate for his neighbor in all of these, you know, underworld affairs, and apparently, there's money involved, and um, yeah, you find out that his neighbor is holding the money for various underworld mafia crime organizations, we'll say. And he was supposed to be there so that they could divvy up, the money. The neighbor was the neutral third party that everybody knew, and they used him um, to be the one holding the money for everybody else. You find out in the movie that they were all supposed to come together and um, divvy up the cash on a certain day. He left to go to his father's funeral in England, and he neglected to let the folks know. So they assumed that he ran off with the money. He absconded with all of their cash. And so they were looking for him so they could, recover their cash. And the main character, Austin Butler's character, he gets he gets dragged into all that unwittingly. And so the whole movie is him trying to survive the whole ordeal. And yeah, he kind of gets deeper and deeper into it as the movie goes on, um, through the actions of others that are not his fault, and that's kind of how that works. So that's kind of like a rundown of the movie. Um, what did you like about the film, Josiah? What were your positive takeaways?
I actually wind up liking quite a bit of this film. It's the things that stand out to me. Ooh, thank you. Pause for a second, fellows and ladies. I'm gonna take a quick drink. It's actually pretty hot here out in the random desert that I live in.
Yeah.
Which is just kind of how things go. It's probably hot out there for you guys too. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I liked quite a bit of this movie. I think the two biggest things that stand out to me would be the like set production. Um, I think they did a really really good job of a combination of like picking amazing locales to actually like dressing the rooms and locations that they filmed at. I very much felt like I was. Well, this was like it was New York, right? Or similar esque.
N- New York City, Lower East Side, 1998.
Yeah, so I definitely got that vibe. As far as the 1998 part, that part, yeah, I'd have to give it another look. I mean, obviously they were using, um, you know, phones, uh, pay phones and stuff like that. That was probably like the most 1998 thing that I could think of in the movie. But yeah, it looked great, and I thought it was the lighting and cinematography all helped to place me in that time period in that location. And yeah, I think a lot of films will try to go for this like dirty grungy kind of a look and not nail it. I think this movie's like biggest strength was I thought like yeah, all the sets and the lighting and cinematography to support just the environment was all really really good. Really really good. Um and then the couple of our main characters, Austin Butler, Matt Smith, Zoe Kravitz. Like I thought the acting in general was very good as well. There are a few people that felt a little stiffer, but overall, like, yeah, I wound up having fun during the film, and hmm, let me try to see. Yeah, I think it was it was what I was hoping it to be at least. And we'll get into this more. I don't know that it but wound up being great within the genre. Like it met my expectations, so thankfully didn't necessarily like fall short or even like exceed those. I had a good time watching the film. I had a good time seeing the film in theaters, and I think I was overall caught along the ride, as the movie was transpiring. There were only like a couple small things that kind of like, you know, maybe like bounced me out of the movie just periodically, but overall I thought, it told a competent story. But yeah, set production and a couple of the actors' performances I really enjoyed during this film.
Okay. Let me think. I think the world felt lived in. I kind of like and kind of don't like films that are set in New York City because New York City just ends up looking so dirty and grimy. It's like there's like this layer of film over everything. It's
Uh-huh.
like, ugh, gross. Um, is the Lower East Side really like that? I don't know, but it just feels all grungy is the word. This movie is super grungy.
Mhm.
And in my mind, when I think grungy, I just think BO. I just think body odor, bro. Like it's just like
Mhm.
somebody smells musty. And so it's hard for me to like, I don't know. It's just like, ugh, New York City, like, ugh. Like it always just the way it's portrayed, it just looks like a place that smells like body odor. So maybe that's effective production design. I don't know, but yeah. Now, when I think Darren Aronofsky, I think like Requiem for a Dream and Pi. Those are the movies that most resonate in terms of my memory of like who Darren Aronofsky is.
Mm.
And in those films are like decidedly more stylistic and idiosyncratic. You know, they would have these kind of they would kind of have these what you might call grotesque close-ups. I actually think that the people that created SpongeBob probably were Darren Aronofsky fans. Um, because if you
Mm.
watch SpongeBob SquarePants, like a lot of the gags and the jokes are just, what they call grotesque close-ups. I mean, even like Ren and Stimpy, it's just like they zoom into a body part or something and it just looks really gross. This movie
Mm.
isn't that gross, so it's not like Requiem for a Dream where they're lighting up the heroin and they're injecting it and doing all the super close-ups of the needle going into the arm and all that stuff, and the pupils dilating, or like the microchip and all that stuff that was going on in Pi, which was a black and white film. This movie is more kind of straightforward, especially in the way that I think of like Darren Aronofsky, and so the movie works. It's just like all right, um, and to me, it felt sufficiently nostalgic. I mean, I had many of my formative years were in the '90s. I'm an '80s baby, and so my formative years, my teen years were in the '90s. And so I looked at the film, I was like, yeah, I remember answering machines, and I remember this, and I remember that, and I remember the really cheap early version of the cellular phones, the clamshell ones, all that stuff. So the world felt lived in, and that's good. So I guess I like that. It sounds like I'm criticizing it, but like I think it's effective production design. Um, I didn't hear any like strong stereotypical New York accents, which I guess, I mean, unless you can really do it, unless you're really from New York, it's probably best that you just stay away from those accents because if you do it badly, then it totally takes you out of the movie. And so I'm glad
Yeah.
that they didn't do
Yeah.
that. Regina King maybe a little bit, but not too much. Not too much.
Let us know out there if you would rather a film like this. Oh man. Uh, have New York accents because that's where it's set.
Yeah. And again, like, when we talk about New York accents, a lot of times what we're talking about is like the Brooklyn accent, the so-called Brooklyn accent. So I didn't really pick up on a lot of that. Um, yeah, but I mean, I thought the acting was pretty decent. Um, the characters felt more or less relatable, and yeah, I think the movie's only an hour and 47 minutes long, if I recall, and it moves pretty quickly. Um, it's one of those like bad, 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 bad. Everything's getting worse, 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 getting worse, getting worse, getting worse, getting worse, getting worse, and then the very end of the movie, okay, now they release the pressure valve. They turn the pressure valve, and the steam gets released. It's one of those movies. So, and sometimes it kind of feels like you're in a pressure cooker, but I've seen other movies that felt more like inherently stressful. This movie didn't feel as stressful. Um, so yeah, but yeah, I mean the dialogue was pretty solid. I think the writing was pretty solid for the most part, and I feel like the resolution at the end was about as satisfying as it could be. So, um, yeah. Overall, I was like, oh yeah, this is a pretty cool movie. Oh, at the very end, so they do kind of have like a very brief post credit scenes or like intra credit scenes. So you get a very quick cameo from Laura Dern, and
Yeah.
she plays Austin Butler's mother. I was like, oh snap, Laura Dern. I mean, you couldn't. I mean, now if I go back and listen to it, I'll recognize that it's her voice. But I didn't know that was her. I mean, she could have been anybody because up until that point, you didn't even see who the mother was. It didn't matter what she looked like. But yeah, it was Laura Dern. And during the credits themselves have animated caption, have a little animated cat that kind of walks around. But then like they just have this scene where the cat just is on the beach and it just kind of looks away into the distance and then it just goes straight to the end credits. And I thought the way that they edited that was pretty good. I actually enjoyed that. It kind of reminded me of what they did at the end of Superman with the dog, where Superman and what's the name of that dog? Crypto? Is that
From
the name of the
Superman?
dog? Yeah,
Yeah.
Crypto was the name of the dog. Yeah, they're on the moon and like they're they're Crypto's in his lap and stuff, and then you just see the backdrop of planet Earth. So they had one of those scenes with the cat. The cat is actually an important part of the movie because they were cat sitting, and then Austin Butler's character develops an attachment for the cat to the cat. The cat ends up getting injured, and so that's part of the story. Uh, yeah, but yeah, I felt like the characters were pretty relatable, and yeah, it was cool. Um, there was no glaring like miss in the movie for me per se. Nothing that really blew me away, but like there was no glaring like, oh, that something's off about this movie. So I thought that was good. Um, Now, having said that, uh, Josiah, as you are setting things up in the background, I cannot see you, but I trust that you can hear me. What did you dislike about the film? And while you're getting things set up, I'll just go ahead and talk about some of the things that I didn't like about the film. Um, One thing that bothers me in films where there's like henchmen or something like that, or bad guys. Uh, there's always that one guy that's like a total hothead. It's almost like he doesn't know how to use words, and he's just like super hyper violent. And those characters tend to wear on me a little bit. In the beginning, the guy that like if you watch the trailer, the guy that knocks the bagel out of Austin Butler's hand. Eastern European gentleman. He was a shorter guy. He's bald headed, had a
Yeah.
big scar on his face or birthmark, whatever it was. And he was just like insatiably violent the whole movie. Um, and part of that was kind of anticlimactic
Yeah.
because like once Austin Butler was in a fair fight, he gave him a 2-piece special and a biscuit, just bink bink, and the guy was done. So I was like, all right, well,
Yeah. Super fast,
because
actually.
yeah, it's like as soon as he stood up and like was a fair fight, then it wasn't a fair fight, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But like this guy was just like insatiably like bloodthirsty. So like those characters, they tend to be so, is the word anachronistic or like one dimensional?
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
don't I don't know. Anachronistic might be the right word, might not be. But they're just like so one note
Yeah.
and you don't really care about the character. They're just there to do things that push the plot along. So that kind of annoyed me. Um there is a little bit of like characters doing stupid things, making dumb decisions that are clearly dumb in the moment. Like his boss at the bar, there's a shootout and
Mm-hmm.
he's like, I have a shotgun, and I'm just gonna go. I even though I have this slot where I could use it to like shoot, with the fence, I'm gonna open the door, and then of course he gets blown away.
He does.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, that didn't have to happen. And then like the bad guys tell Austin Butler, who's on the other side of the door, who refuses to come out because he doesn't want to get shot,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
Just like, all right, man, you better get us what we want, otherwise, your life's gonna be over. And then they just leave. They just leave him alone. I'm like, why didn't Maybe they didn't have time. Maybe they had to flee because the cops were coming because they heard gunshots and they didn't want to be there when the cops arrived because it's just too many questions to answer. And
Yeah.
yeah, but
Okay.
yeah,
So
uh,
what you're hitting on is one of the things that maybe is my biggest either critique or just piece of information to know about this movie personally. This
hmm.
film, it I think successfully captures the genre that it is, but it very much
What
feels
what
like
would you call the genre? Just what do you think the genre is for this? Is it like a drama? Is it a comedy? Is it action? It has aspects of all of those. Like what genre would you put this under?
so it's definitely within action. It has moments of comedy, but it's like it's like a mildly mafia esque picture. Uh, and yeah, I guess that's just kind of like the even describing it right now goes hand in hand with what I was gonna say. This feels like an entry level film that you would watch like within this genre. Like I think there are movies that technically do what it wants to do, like in its parts more successfully, more specifically. Like if you wanted a film where it was going to go super heavy in on the mafia aspect and someone owing one person money that owes someone else's money that owes someone else money, you would go and watch a different film. Like it's it's very much a film that like had I seen this and this was like the first experience I had like going into high school or something like that, it probably would have been like absolutely mind blowing for me and been like, oh my gosh, like I've grown up my whole life watching just straight up action films or straight up comedy films or just more kid friendly films up to that point. But then watching this film is like, oh my gosh, this opens me up to a whole new genre of like the punk and grunge aesthetic to like light drug usage and mafia violence and the chain of events, domino effect where things, yeah, like you're describing, are getting worse and worse and worse until there's the pressure valve released by the end of the film, and then it kind of
Mm-hmm.
winds up having a little bit of that, like, I don't know, catch me if you can sort of element to it where the
Yeah.
main character grows into almost this person that they weren't by at the beginning of the film, but like through this one kind of chain of events, one incident, he then all of a sudden becomes this like super capable almost not master of disguise, but like potential master of it's not even espionage, just like under non-traditional approach to life, like he's gotten exposed to the underbelly of society a little bit, and now he's
Yeah.
almost like, I don't know, in D&D kind of description, he's almost kind of like a rogue in a way by the end of the film, where he's able to indeed disguise himself as his neighbor and get away with all this money and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I had to categorize it in terms of genre, it would, because there's a lot of overlap. It's almost like it would be kind of a suspense,
Mm-hmm.
light grindhouse, like diet grindhouse, um, suspense, dark comedy, crime drama.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think they did a good job with. I mean, outside of the title not being as appropriate as I think it could be, which I'll get back to in a half second. I mean, it is right in describing his like emotional trauma that he has connected with this money is being stolen by somebody and eventually stolen by him. Like, I think what you see from the trailers and even like the poster and stuff here is the type of feel that the movie successfully achieves.
right.
It just feels like the entry level version of it,
Yeah. So this was based on a novel. I think it was based on a book.
Yeah, it was.
And so I'm guessing there's details in the book that probably weren't included, maybe didn't make the final cut, that might give more information or context as to why it was called, stealing or caught stealing.
Yeah.
If it were up to me, I would call it like, I don't know, rounding the bases or safe at home, because he's trying to, like, eventually he's just trying to leave,
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Maybe
it's not even describing him. Maybe it's describing his neighbor. Was it Russ or whatever? I guess he's the one that's caught stealing, but he wasn't even trying to steal initially. But
the intent was not to steal. He was leaving to go because his father died or whatever, or his father was sick, had a stroke or whatever, and then you find out that he ended up dying and so forth.
Yeah.
So the name is a little bit ambiguous. So maybe not my favorite name for a movie, just given what the movie was about.
Yeah.
I don't see a clear tie or connection.
Yeah. Now we can go deeper into that potentially, but here, let me ask you: did you actually, did you wind up liking the characters? Did you like how the events transpired as well?
I liked some of the characters. I liked the main character. He was interesting enough. Zoe Kravitz's character, she was okay. I did like that the movie was willing to kill off characters.
Yes.
Yeah, so Zoe Kravitz's character she catches one to the noodle. I mean, he comes in and sees her on the floor in a pool of blood, in a big pool of blood.
Yeah.
It's like, oh snap! I thought she was gonna survive for the end of the movie, because she was his moral support, kind of like his guiding light. Man, his muse, his guiding light, his magnetic north. And
she was too good, man. She was too good. It was either gonna go one of two different ways. Either she was gonna catch it, because yes, one, she is so very kind to him, understanding with him, gives him second chances, and just seems like overall like lovely. Besides the one moment where he like says something upsets her when she's helping him back home. But look, I walked into the film. I walked into the film when they had their romance scene, and immediately I was like, all right, so this is either going to go the direction of something's going to happen to her earlier in the film than later, and they want to get the romance scene in, or she's going to wind up turning and it's not going to be the innocent, girl in the movie as we thought. And so they went the first route, where unfortunately, as y'all on the internet will describe, she gets fridged halfway through the film.
Yeah. Okay, that's another thing I don't like. When they have the female character get mad about something that has a clear explanation. It's like it's like he's drunk. He's upset about his
Yes.
life.
Yeah.
He says all I have is garbage. He clearly wasn't referring to her. It's like,
No.
oh come, like
No.
does this really need to be a plot point where she gets mad about something that deep down she knows doesn't apply to her personally? You know what I mean?
100%. I mean, she went all this distance to go and get him from the bar. She had already like told him like you don't need a drink, like this isn't you, like you can be past this, and she was helping him go down that. So she's already gone all the way to the bar where he's like blasted and is
Yeah.
walking down the street with him for who knows. She spent like I don't know, probably 30 minutes with him already. And then he says this one-off thing while he's, completely wasted and she acts as if like he's saying this of sound mind. Like it didn't make sense for me either.
Yeah, and then like he ends up just going to her apartment and it's all fine anyway. So I'm like, all right, well, what was the point of that? Um, yeah.
What did you think of
Otherwise,
Bad Bunny up in this movie, huh?
oh, that he was the Puerto Rican guy, right, or the
Mm-hmm.
Dominican?
Mm-hmm.
He was fine. I kind of was thinking I was gonna dislike him based on the trailer.
Mm.
I don't like it when like they threaten to like, you know, uh, do bad things to men's genitals, as a
Sure.
threat.
Yeah.
Especially when he's like, in a state of undress. That's just it's just weird and creepy stuff with pliers. Like I don't know, like no, no,
I mean,
no. I'll
thankfully
pass.
he's not hanging out, so they didn't go that distance where it's like that much
Yeah,
more.
but like,
He's got some underwear on, thankfully.
but like
Still.
later on when he goes to the Jewish household, um, they strip him down to make sure he doesn't have the keys. It's like, all right. Again, it wasn't a particularly salacious scene. He was sitting. He didn't see anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. And I guess in the context, it makes sense that let's make sure he doesn't have the key on his person.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, the Jewish mom, grandma, auntie, whoever the lady was that made the matzo ball
Mm-hmm.
soup,
Yeah.
she said something that was probably one of my favorite lines in the movie. She's like, "If you don't bite, don't show your teeth." Which is ironic because he's been trying to not
That's
show his
true.
teeth the whole time. He
Yeah.
even went to the cops only to be, surprise, surprise, the cop was dirty. Regina
Boy.
King's character, she
Mm-hmm.
was a dirty cop. And so,
Shinobi One saying,
yeah,
Bad Bunny making all the movie appearances. Yeah, we just saw him in was it Happy Gilmore 2. It's a fun character. But yeah, sorry. Thanks Shinobi One for the input. Yeah, he's making it. He's making it happen. He's making that transition into acting.
yeah. What's that song? I don't know who he is really. I know like he's a rapper. He's a Spanish language rapper, right? Is that who he is?
I mean, I think he
Is
does
that
some rapping, but yeah, I would
again?
like
I
hip
don't know. I
hop.
don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't
yeah.
know enough about who he is. I don't listen to his music except I think there's that one song, the one that's in all the like TikTok reels or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I didn't know that was him. I just thought it was just another actor. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
realize that was him. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, Genobi 121, good call because I didn't know. Um,
Yeah.
uh, but I mean his character, aside from looking like Lupin the Third, yeah, he was fine.
Yeah, he
He
kind
didn't
of
last very
does. He
long.
kind of does. Yeah, I
He
like
totally
that.
does, right?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
That was the coolest thing about him.
Yeah, exactly. If y'all don't
What I
know,
did,
Lupin the Third is a I think it's a French character. Uh, Lupin, I think he's kind of a contemporary of Sherlock Holmes in both like time period and like writing of the character. There's been a number of renditions. There's a popular French rendition right now that's been on Netflix, pretty popular. But
yeah, I think there's
for like I
three
don't know,
seasons in.
yeah, 3 seasons or so. But for like what 40 or 50 years, there have been Japanese films of the character.
Yeah, so there's a comic book by the late manga artist Monkey Punch, and there's been scores of anime series and movies. In fact, Hayao Miyazaki of Ghibli Films, before Ghibli was formed, I believe,
Mhm.
his directorial debut was actually the Castle of
Cagliostro.
Cagliostro,
Yeah.
Gaglia Galaxy, Deep Space Nine. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an
Gattaca
Italian
remix.
name,
Mhm.
Gattaca Express.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
The
So yeah,
first
that
generation.
yeah, and it's actually
It's
a
super
really
good.
good Lupin the Third movie
It's super good.
as Lupin movies go. And
Yeah.
so yeah, so I guess Bad Bunny, he looks, they may have very well modeled him after the Japanese manga rendition of Lupin the Third. Because
Possibly.
if you look at
Possibly.
him side by side, it's like, oh snap, he does look like that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like how Regina, the way it was written, that basically he was all bark and no bite. That's what they made it clear to oh, he barks a lot. He says he's gonna do all this stuff, but he doesn't have the balls to pull the trigger. I'm like, all right, well,
That's
thanks for
what
letting
she
me know that.
said. Yeah, that's what she said. But then I think to like disprove her, he wound up killing one of the guys in his bar.
The
Not
bar
the
regulars,
owner. Yeah, the bar regular. He just shot that man up.
I mean, that guy
then
did attack him, so it's like, but he
yeah,
attacked him because like, yeah, this guy's a fake cop, It's
yeah.
like,
Mhm.
yeah. And then he ends up getting, Regina King ends up blowing him away because he was a hothead.
Mhm.
So,
like you were saying, that was a cool moment. They were willing to kill people up, and I was actually a little surprised they took him out that fast.
yeah, it was kind of like it started to feel like what was it? Scorsese film with all the in Boston cops and the Boston mafia.
Mm-hmm.
The Chinese movie's called Internal Affairs. What's it called? What was the movie called?
Oh,
Oh, I'm
The
blanking.
Departed.
The Departed in Boston.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The Departed in Boston. The Departed in Southie.
Departed.
Yeah. My boy's wicked smart, like in the car. Get in the car,
Mm-hmm. Hey, get in the car. We smart.
Yeah.
Huh?
If you would like to book me for your next Boston accent, just go ahead and leave us a message on Buy Me a Coffee,
Yeah, we
and
got it.
I can make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my boy from South, he's wicked smart. How do you like them apples? Like I got you.
Mm-hmm. I'll be the hey, we walking there. Hey, come on.
Is that Boston or is that New York?
That one's supposed to be New York. Yeah, you be Mr. Boston.
Yeah.
I'll be like, hey, we walking. Oh no,
we walking. Yeah.
That's all we got.
So yeah.
That's all we got.
Buy Me a Coffee / Super Cinema Bros. Go ahead and book us for your voiceovers and your dubs. Your Funimation 4Kids, 4Loko English dubs. For the characters from Boston and My Hero Academia. We're ready.
We got it. We got it.
Yeah, so I didn't like. I don't know. I didn't like certain parts of that. I don't know why he like took the key, put it in the coin slot for the payphone, and then he knocks the thing off. Like, what? There was really no need to do that. Especially if he himself wants to have access and be able to open that lock. Like, was it just to wrap it around the bandage for the kitty?
Yes.
But like, was anybody really looking at the kitty's bandage like that? He could have just put it on the other part and just wrapped it around, and then like nobody would have noticed. Because if it was that noticeable, they would have killed him and stole the cat a long time ago.
That mess wouldn't have worked either. I know it's a nitpick. I'm sorry, guys. If y'all don't want to hear us nitpicking things, step away. But there's no way you're gonna break a key with a payphone like that. And or if you do, 100% that key is falling inside of that payphone.
Oh, absolutely. I was already starting to get nervous. I'm like, please don't make this a plot point. Please don't make this a plot point. Now he's got to like break into the 1-800-collect payphone. Like, oh God, just
yeah.
please don't let that be a thing.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. So let me dogpile on top of this. Look, this is my second critique of the film. The key MacGuffin did not work for me at all. Look, I mean, it's entirely possible that nobody had any idea where Russ had this money. No one really cared about the location of where the money was, really. Strangely enough, everyone was just going after the key. So that tells me, all right, they want to go after the key because they know where the key is used. And then when you wind up getting all the way over to the storage facility, you're like, oh no, man. You're telling me that this key just opens a standard rolling door storage facility. We saw like halfway, like a third into the movie, the Jewish guys, I think they were using some bolt cutters to open Russ's door when Hank was like looking through his spyglass or whatever in his door, peephole, I guess that's what it's called. I'm like, wait a second, okay. So I think the movie wants us to believe that no one knows where the money was at, but yeah, they didn't make a big deal about it. They're only making a big deal about like, we need the key. Where's the key? Give us the key. When all you had to do was like go on, follow this man to where the storage facility was, and like everyone was being followed in this film, and they could have easily followed Russ around town to find out like where he was and what he was doing things. Like you're gonna tell me this guy was so slick that he was able to like get away from people and sneak his way all the way over to a storage facility, and like nobody had any idea like what he was doing? Like you tell me these Jewish people are willing to let him handle millions of dollars and they don't know like every place that he goes, period?
The cops weren't tailing him, like Regina King wasn't tailing him at any point. I mean,
but
now,
and the key doesn't have any information on it, at least from what they showed us, besides like the blue, plastic kind of protector thing or whatever it is that like identifies the blue, lock when you get to it. But I don't think there's anything on the key that identifies what storage facility it's at, or what lock it's connected to, or whatever. So it didn't make sense to me. If they had found the key and gotten the key, they still didn't know where the storage was. And if they did know where the storage was, I don't know, these guys got grenades, or just like bolt cut it open, shoot it open, like whatever you need to do. It's an easy storage facility to get into.
Yeah, I mean, and there's only one storage container facility in New York City, so like, they only had to go to that one place, and just cut a bunch of, Yeah, I mean, we all know that in New York City there's only one storage container facility, especially in 1998, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so I mean, clearly, if they couldn't find out from the key itself, they would just be bolt cutting everybody's locks until they found their money. Presumably.
And I guarantee you, if they did that, they would have made at least $30 million, because everyone else is hiding their money in that same facility.
Oh yeah. Like why didn't they like have it in a bank or something like that, or like I don't know, like something more secure, so it didn't depend on one person that could just, who could be a flight risk. These criminal types ain't the smartest. Ain't the sharpest tools in the shed, you know what I mean?
That's it.
But if they were,
I did like most of them. Go ahead first.
Yeah, if they were that smart, then I guess we wouldn't have a movie. So, I would think there'd be more of like a laundering aspect.
Yeah. So let me ask: did you catch? Was it the Jewish people that Roman, Regina King's character, owed money to, or was it some other party that we never met?
I think they said something about her owing it to like the Hasidic Jewish guys. I
Okay.
think
Yeah. Hmm.
she was in debt for something. They didn't really. I mean, it was like a throwaway line. They didn't really say too much about it,
Yeah. Because
and
if
they were
she
saying that like
was,
the yeah.
yeah, because it didn't make sense to me. Like if she was in debt to them, but she was trying to get them their money, she was telling him to be like aware of those guys, like where be careful with those guys. Was she trying to get the money just to get it to them, and then was gonna think that they were gonna like free her or forgive her of some level of her debt because she helped them get their money? Like she wasn't trying to get the money and pay them off with their own money, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Those things aren't entirely clear. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, there's like little things of like, again, these all fall under the category of nitpicks. Austin Butler's, it looks like he's about to shoot Regina King's character, but then he doesn't because the two Hasidic Jewish hitmen are there, and they take her out, they shoot her, but then he just throws the gun away. And it's like that gun has your fingerprints all over. Like
Mm-hmm.
at least why I don't know, like at least like you know do that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, one of the parts I always liked in the original Boondock Saints was the fact that like they would take ammonia and like douse all the blood on the crime scene with ammonia. And even Willem Dafoe's character in that movie is like, I hate a tainted crime scene or whatever, you know. So I always like it when the criminal characters in I mean Regina King kind of did that by like placing the gun in the in the bar regular's hands just to
Yeah.
make it look confusing. It doesn't change the fact that the guy got blown in the head from the side and then he got shot, but I guess it would just create confusion, and then as long as they're not there, you know did that bar have any camera? I don't know what. See, now I'm just like, I'm trying to ground it too much in reality, and it's a movie and it has a
Mm.
story to tell. And so yeah, I mean, having said all of that, I thought it was interesting at the end where he's in Tulum, Mexico, and he sees Barry Bonds about to go up and hit, and then he turns it off right before Barry Bonds. I didn't like. Was there some kind of commentary there, or was he just like, you know what? I don't want to live my life like this anymore, or something.
That's exactly what it was. I mean, that's probably one of the strengths of the movie as well. I thought, them presenting his troubled past. Um, you know, we see the events of in the past him and his his best friend, assumedly, were just living life up as these high school baseball superstars and driving around drunk. He winds up getting them into a car accident. His friend was not wearing a seatbelt, winds up dying due to the car accident. He winds up having his knee messed up, and this leads him towards, away from the prospects that he has within baseball. I think that trauma coming up several times within the movie made sense, and I think ultimately is what's supposed to be holding him back. Like he seems to be successful enough that he's like making ends meet, has a nice apartment, has a lot of things in his apartment.
Yeah, he
But
seems to be
he's
doing just fine.
yeah, he's doing just fine, but he's just he's living with this trauma of having lost everything. And and I think that's part of the reason why he's not making the choice to be the actionable character. That's why he's kind of like holding back, because ultimately the film tells us in a scene he winds up saying like he's like upset with himself that he almost didn't care about his friend dying. He cared about his career being over.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the other thing that kind of not confused me. I was like,
mm,
okay, so it really wasn't because they were drunk. He was drunk driving that he got in that car accident. A cow a cow was out in the road and they had to swerve. Now, was it because he was drunk that his reaction time was slow and he hit that pole? Eh, because he hit that pole dead on. I was like, bro, just turn the wheel, just like this, and you're fine. But like he just like went head on
yeah.
collision.
Well, they did show that there was something wrong with the vehicle. Like he was trying to He was trying to
Oh,
turn
really?
it. Sorry, one second. There's some noises happening outside. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. In one of the flashbacks, you know how they kind of give us a little bit more and more information. I think it's maybe the second flashback or so, um, where we've seen that they've been drinking for a little bit, and then we see the cow. He winds up swerving. Something happens, and they show him like trying to control the vehicle, but then nothing's happening. So I think, yeah, that's
Is that
actually
what it
pretty.
was?
Yeah, something happened to the vehicle's controls. At least that's how it appeared when I was watching the
Like
film.
the car had no
Um,
power steering, and so like the wheel got stuck when he made an aggressive turn or something.
yeah, that
Is
maybe
that a
is one.
thing?
That's a potential problem. Yeah, like you're saying. So the movie's trying to say it's potentially his relationship with alcohol that caused the scenario. But you're right in pointing out that it was the car swerving from the cow. Now maybe they needed to have made it more clear that because they were drinking, like he was going, excessively speed wise, or that like yeah, his reaction time was slowed or something. Um, yeah, so yeah, maybe that is a small little little error that they were trying to make up for, but
Yeah, you know what? When the car crashed, when the car wrapped around the pole, you know what that
yeah.
reminded me of? It reminded me of that scene from I think it was Matrix Reloaded,
Uh
where
huh.
Agent Smith are like jumping on and landing on the hood of the car, and the car
Oh yeah,
when they're
yeah,
like
that was
jumping, trying to
dope.
chase Morpheus and Trinity in the car. I was like,
Yeah,
is that that? I was like, no, no. I think that's actually a car that I mean, they got I'm sure they had a car drive
that looked
straight
good.
into a
I
pole.
liked that. That looked like a
Yeah,
practical, effect they wind up doing. I think it was pretty dope. Actually, the two times they did it, um,
yeah.
I thought were
Again,
really really effective scenes.
Super Saiyan
Shots.
nitpick. Like the car wraps like this, so then the hood should be like this, and then so when the guy goes through it, and I don't mean to be morbid or macabre, like I don't know, it's like wait a minute, how did he end up on the hood? Like I don't know, some of those details are a little like
Are you
it
saying
really
like
doesn't make a difference.
he should have gone straight past the pole or something? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm saying like the hood of the car should have been like this when it crashed, right? It should have popped up, right? And then when he went through the windshield, like his the rest of I don't know, whatever. This is not a this doesn't really matter. Like I said, Super Saiyan nitpick. But
Yeah, I see what you mean. I mean, I think it's possible that it could have deformed in a number of ways. So
sure.
it deforming in that way is fine. Um,
But when the shot from where like it wraps around the pole or wraps around like the divide the center divide or the column
yeah.
when he's in the city. Yeah, and actually this goes back to what I like, the scene where like he's just like, "You know what? Oh,
Hmm.
so you guys are the ones that killed my girlfriend cuz you kept her lighter, you know? The guy was so callous.
I didn't even realize that. I thought it was something connected to that. I didn't know that was her
Yeah.
lighter.
Okay, so just before they get it on in the love scene in the
Okay.
beginning,
Okay.
she was like, pretending to like, stick him up, and then
Oh,
she
I
pulls the
see.
trigger in the light, and she's lights a cigarette, and then she puts the cigarette in his Corona beer. He's like, that was a perfectly good beer. She's like, oh, drink it after we're done, and then they start, doing the whole
Okay.
love
Okay.
making thing,
Yeah.
and so because he had assumed that the other henchmen, the Puerto Rican and the two Eastern Europeans were the ones that did it,
Yeah.
or that some other group had done it. For some reason, in my mind, I'm like tacking Nobody two to this movie. It's like it's just seeing Sharon Stone doing all that stuff, and
Oh
she was the
my
one that
gosh.
she was the one that killed. She was the one that killed Zoe Kravitz's
No.
character.
Oh man.
I
Which, by the way,
looking back on
we
it,
did watch, but that was one of the past weeks in which, yeah. I wasn't able to record
Yeah.
on Mondays. But anyways, yeah, getting back to this. Okay, yeah, I thought it was something like that. Because they were trying to make it seem like the movie wanted to make it seem that like Roman was the one. Like he was starting to put details together. He was like, "Oh, Roman killed Colorado with the gun like right at his temple." Like, "Oh, maybe she was the one that killed my girlfriend." And then by this point of the film, they wind up showing the lighter, and it was like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
So
So, oh, go ahead.
yeah, no, I was gonna go in another direction. If you want to, wrap up your thought on this area.
I'm not sure how I feel about Russ was the neighbor, right?
Yes.
He comes back and he gets popped in the head with a baseball bat.
Hmm.
And he has a big swell. And then like that's basically what killed him, right?
Oh my
Like he's
gosh. You
like the brain
know,
hemorrhaging.
I think it was that in combination with like a few other hits. Like they wind up being in a car chase for a little while. I think they didn't they like physically, yeah, they fought each other for a moment. Oh, you know what? It's the baseball bat hit, and then also
In the tr-
he hit
in the storage
in
locker.
the storage locker. He winds up like hitting his head on something and like passing out.
Yeah, I thought he was dead because they made it seem like he was dead, and then he kind of comes to something like multiple contusions that went unaddressed medically,
Yeah.
and it just kind of caught up to him. His
Hmm.
brain swelled or whatever, and then he died
Yeah,
on the subway.
that mess is bad. Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, but it was weird because like you almost feel bad for him, but like at the same time he was ready to screw over his neighbor, you know. But then they ended up going together. Like it was weird. Like I guess it was messy in a way that it
Yeah,
makes sense for the film because the film is messy. They're friends, but then
yeah.
he's ready to sell him up the river, and then
What you're kind of brushing up against, I think, is the comedic elements of the movie. There's
yeah,
some things that they rationalize via comedy, or they drag things out, or allow things to happen a little bit via comedy. So for some people that might not be good via comedy. He winds up getting knocked in the head with a baseball bat. And, even the main character gets assaulted, where the little guy like rams him like he's a human pile driver, or something or whatever. Like there's
battering
multiple
ram, yeah,
batter like human, yeah, cue ball battering ram. um and like
ruptures
via,
his kidney.
yeah, and then yeah, via comedy, the Jewish brothers like exist as well, like, and they directly die via comedy because they're like, oh no, it's Shabbat. I can't be doing any work, can't be driving, can't be pulling this
Yeah,
lighter.
and then
Mm-hmm.
Vincent D'Onofrio, who played a really great Jewish Hasidic mafia guy. It
Oh
was
yeah.
just really down, like understated, but it
Mm-hmm.
was a good role for him. And then the other guy, I've seen him in other movies before, but I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
But he's like, oh, we shouldn't have let the goyim, the Gentile, drive the car.
The Goy Drive. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so we got another comment here. Global
Yeah, I saw that.
74. Compared to Nobody 2, I would not recommend this movie.
I think
Um,
he said I would. Hang on. Oh, I would not recommend this movie compared to Nobody Two.
mm, hmm.
Um, I would not recommend it. I think they're different movies and they cater to different audiences. Um,
Audience overlaps
this is,
a good amount. I think it's quite a bit. Like they're both action comedy films. Um,
I
so
think I might push back on that. Like I think Nobody Two is very much on the nose, and it's very much what you think it is.
hmm,
I feel like there's just a slight bit of like tonal subtlety in this movie.
hmm,
And Nobody Two, the main character is essentially a hitman. He's an operator. He gets the job done. He kills a lot of people. In this movie, the main character is just trying to survive. Um, Yeah, I mean, if you like Nobody 2 and you're expecting that same kind of experience with this movie, then yeah, you are going to be disappointed. Um,
Mhm.
Thank you,
I do
Global
like
74.
Hank in this film,
Yeah.
but I do like Hutch a lot more. And I think Nobody 2 is maybe a lot clearer from the get go, like what type of film it is, like, and where it lands in the how serious it takes, kind of meter. This film, I
Hmm.
think, kind of has a little bit more of a dance in between, like wanting to be very intelligent versus have comedy kind of intercept things a little bit. So I can see where you're coming from. Um, I think I wound up liking
Yeah.
the villains a little bit more in this film personally, but yeah, I think the action and like the way things transpire were potentially more fun in Nobody 2.
Yeah. Nobody 2. I mean, Sharon Stone is so cartoonish. And like, has she always been a bad actress? I don't know. Like, I was watching an interview with her. She was like, oh man, I just get offered the same $600,000 every film. So and so is making $10 million, but they just offered me the same $600,000.
Mhm.
I'm like, well, given your performance, man, like, uh, uh, you might need to just be happy with the 600,000 because like, I don't see you winning any Oscars anytime soon. I mean, again, did she need to be a good actress for that role? I mean, she was purposely cartoonish, and
Mhm.
that's fine. Um, it's fine. But yeah, I think if you're looking for more, I think Nobody 2, for all of its violence, it's a whole lot more lighthearted than this movie was. Um, yeah, I feel like Nobody 2 was just like Easter egg candy for people that like the first movie, and it's giving those people what they want. People that like Bob Odenkirk, and that's cool. That's really cool. I
Mhm.
enjoyed. I mean, I felt like Nobody 2 got me in and got me out in like 90 minutes. It was like no, it was like 89 minutes. Like it got me in and got me out. It didn't waste my time. It got to the point, and I appreciate when movies do that. This movie largely did the same. This movie's a little bit longer. This movie, I think, is like an hour
Mhm.
47 minutes.
Yeah.
Um,
I think I enjoyed the twists, quote unquote, like plot twists a little bit more in this film. I think Regina King's interaction with him with Hank were interesting when you think that she's a good cop. I mean, it's writing is a little bit there on the wall, but yeah, when she winds up turning and like bringing in her help when they're at the what was it diner or whatever.
yeah,
But
with the
thought it
black
was
and white cookie.
with the black and white cookie, her giving her little speech there. I was there for it. I thought she was mildly eating the scenery a bit there. Um, and look, I'm a major sucker for a few different actors, and for Vincent D'Onofrio. I'm sorry if I'm
Hmm.
mispronouncing your name.
Yeah, Vincent
Massive,
D'Onofrio. Yeah,
massive sucker. I mean, love him as Kingpin, and a number of his other performances. Like I didn't realize it was him nor Liev Schreiber. Like the first couple times they were showing those dudes, it wasn't until we got to like spend some like a considerable amount of time in the vehicle with them that I was like, oh shoot, these are these guys. They did such a good job of like stepping
yeah,
into separate characters and their other stuff that when I came to realize it was them, I was like, oh man, they got me again. I love these dudes, and so also along with you, it's super random to some degree, but when they go and see their mom Bubby, I thought it was a fun moment. I thought it was good. I wound up so that's part of the reason why I liked the villains of this film, more than the other one. But yeah, they're
yeah.
both yeah.
Um, Yeah, I thought the baseball theme, him like going to the batting cages, was gonna be like more of a regular recurring thing in the movie. They only showed
Sure.
it once.
Yeah.
But it was cool. I like that. Um, him going to Coney Island was interesting scene.
Oh
Um,
yeah, them going to the baseball game that was, you know, getting out and using the crowd to get away from um, Roman.
yeah, in the subway terminal. Yeah, going up the stairs.
It's a fun moment.
Uh,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But going back to yeah, what you were saying about oh man, I lost it. I think I lost it for a second. Uh, baseball element. Anyways, if I think of it,
Yeah.
think of it again, I will get back to you. But oh yeah,
Yeah,
you're
so
talking
like
about the batting cages.
he goes to the batting cages, and
Hmm.
that was cool. Um, yeah, yeah. I think what am I trying to say? Yeah, you see at the end of the movie, like he basically takes his identity, takes his passport, and goes to Mexico. Um, will he ever be able to return? Maybe. Um, will he need? What's he gonna do with all the money? Who knows?
Oh, you were
But
asking
yeah.
about the Barry Bonds part earlier.
Oh yeah. Well, I
Yeah, I
mentioned
mean,
it.
yeah, he basically was able to grow past that childhood trauma and like holding himself responsible slash not holding himself responsible. I think he was able to accept his responsibility and the loss of his friend, the loss of his career, and he was so obsessed about tracking the uh, the Giants throughout the movie that by the end of the movie, yeah, he was able to like have supposedly grown past it and is able to finally step into like a new chapter of his life, not hung up by what could have been before.
Yeah. The only other thing that kind of like took me out of it just a little bit was given the fact that his girlfriend was murdered, and
Yeah.
he was
Uh
upset
huh.
about it. I I just feel like I would be a whole lot more upset about it,
Hmm.
or maybe just a bit more.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hmm.
But he's dealing with all these super violent people,
Yeah. He is.
and maybe he's just trying to keep his head on straight. Um, the only other nitpick is when they sped up in that van with the two acidic Jewish guys,
Hmm.
and he had the airbag and the cat in his arms. That cat would not have survived. That cat would have been
Oh.
a goner. That airbag would have
Oh
would have
man.
would have executed that little cat. I mean, the
Yeah.
fact that he survived was like, all right. I mean, you're pushing it there. I don't know how fast exactly they were going.
Well, they did make it a point that they didn't put on their seatbelt. Like what
Right.
happened with his
Yeah,
friend
just
when they were
drive.
younger. Hmm.
Yeah, I thought what was gonna happen was he was gonna be hanging out like the passenger side window, and then they're drunk, and then he loses control of the car or something like that. Um, I thought it was gonna be like Hereditary or something like that, where she's like the little girl, the deformed little girl had the peanut allergy,
Uh oh, we're
and
back to
then
it. Uh oh, yeah, yeah. Uh huh. That could have
pop.
happened. I mean, I don't think the film would have gone through as much as it did just to have him this ended. Uh, I think arguably the ending is a little ham fisted, and but this coming from a book, also I can see how it potentially got to that point. Um,
I'm okay with the ending. It's fine. It
Apparently,
resolved
this
itself.
was based off of a first book in a trilogy. I'm not sure how much of the book series it covered, or if this is like halfway or a third through the storyline.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd be
yeah,
interested to know.
yeah. But
But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what. theater,
Poor lady
Netflix.
at was it TSA? Couldn't tell he wasn't the dude in the passport. You know,
I mean,
I guess
he
it's
was
a
just.
necessary joke that they, had to make in the movie.
I mean, technically, he was kind of close enough. Um, what are you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, he had about as much money as he would have made as a pro player. You know what I mean? He had 40 million. He left 20 million with his mom, so he's
Boy, it was
walking around with a
four
backpack.
zero. I thought it was just 4.
Oh, was it? Oh, maybe it was.
It might have, yeah.
Yeah, maybe it was 4. So he had two. So he had 2 million on him,
I
and
don't
he
know what his
sent two
mom's gonna
million
do
to
with
his
that money
mom's.
though. Like that's kind of a she's got a major laundering problem. Um,
Two
I,
words. Two
I'm
words.
that.
Her mom is in California, man. So 2 words. Indian casino.
Mm.
Uh, Put it all on red. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. As Wesley Snipes said, always bet on black.
Mm. Mm-hmm. That's right. You're
That's
right
right.
about that.
That's right. From my lips to God's ears,
Mm.
But yeah, those are pretty much my thoughts on the film. I don't regret seeing it in the movie theater.
Wait, you say you do?
I don't.
Oh, you don't. Okay.
In fact, this movie is low enough budget to where I want more movies like this to be made. So I'm actually going to say, go see this one in the theaters. I want more movies like this to be made, so we don't just get MCU fifth phase. What is it? Phase 4, phase
I think we're in
5,
6 right now, but yeah.
phase 6. So we don't just get a bunch of goofy movies. I do like the trailers. There's one movie called Keepers that like I normally would have no interest in seeing because I don't really do horrors and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of curious about it because the trailer is like really kind of interesting. Who is this person that I'm married to? I think they're a keeper. It's like, all right, I'm kind of interested. I feel like doing this podcast is kind of expanding my horizons a little bit.
Mm.
Um, that hasn't always panned out, you know. Barbie, but that's fine. Like some movies you like, some movies you don't like. Barbie, but
Are you
you
okay
know,
there? Can you take a moment?
I just had some. I was a little verklempt, had something in my
Oh,
throat.
okay, okay. You're
Um,
not choking on some plastic or something, right?
no, 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 no. I'll be all right. But yeah, yeah, this movie was pretty good. This movie was pretty solid. It doesn't leave me with a whole lot to say. Like most of what I complain about were nitpicks. Um,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and you know what? Maybe one day I'll come to miss the nitpicks because like AI is going to be writing like Pentac perfect, clinically perfect, you know, uh, perfect screenplays that don't have any logical inconsistencies,
Mm-hmm.
and then the thing that'll let you know that it was made by a human being is that like it has like imperfect plot development.
Sure.
There's plot holes. So
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, all stories gonna
yeah,
have that to some degree. It, the older I get, the more I'm maybe okay with there being some plot holes and flaws within a film. I think I do ultimately agree. It was fun to watch, and just for the reason of like, yeah, like you're saying, wanting more films that aren't just fitting squarely within like the big budget, money making genres. I
yeah,
think
I kind of
people.
want to go back to the 90s. The 90s were like this wellspring of like alternative movies, and that's because the revenue system was different. There's a good video. I think I mentioned this before in a different episode that Matt Damon talks about um the second release, which is the VHS or the DVD release of a film, and people can recoup and make their money back or make more money
Hmm.
when
Yeah.
um when movies used to go uh to DVD or VHS, which is a model that was completely upended by streaming services. You know, and that's part of why we don't get more Goodwill Hunting like movies, because there's no profit in those movies.
Got it. Yeah, yeah.
And so yeah, the 90s had so many different types of movies, so many weird, quirky, experimental movies, like the original Hackers, The Matrix, like all these different movies. Um, and then you had, like Double Team starring Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dennis Rodman. I was just showing my friend that trailer. Go watch that trailer. It's so bad, it's amazing. What I'm saying is, like, the 90s, you had like so many different types of movies that were coming out, and some of them did well, some of them tanked, some of them bombed, but you just had like all kinds of super creative, super forward thinking movies. I think Mulholland Drive came out in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I've only seen parts of that movie, but like that's one of those movies that, like, artsy fartsy people really geek out on. Um, this is way before A24. You know what I mean? This is way before Neon. This is way before Blumhouse. This is before all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I circle around to say, I bring all that up. It's like we had variety that I feel has become less and less varied over time,
Sure.
especially now that we
Yeah.
have like these $1 billion superhero movies and stuff like that, and it makes studios more reticent to try more experimental things that might not find its audience until later on. One of my all-time favorite movies, Shawshank Redemption, I think it came out during like some big blockbuster weekend, and it didn't really find its audience in theaters, but it took on a whole new life on VHS, DVD, and on syndication on television.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I want more movies like that.
Yeah, I was just
But
watching
that
a video. It
means,
sounds like Home Alone was potentially similar in that. Well,
yeah,
at the very least, it got kind of panned, but or didn't get as good critic reviews at the time. But has.
but it made like $1 billion. I mean, those
Mm-hmm.
movies were huge. The original Home Alone, Home Alone 2,
Yeah,
those are more on the comedy side of things.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, all that to say is, like, we won't get these movies if people don't go see them in the theaters. I mean, I even feel that way about Weapons. Um, Weapons was okay, but I want more of those types of movies to get out.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I mean, we get some of those movies on streaming on Netflix and stuff, on HBO
Mm-hmm.
Max a
Mm-hmm.
little bit, but they
Mm-hmm.
really need like that theatrical release to really make their money back.
Okay.
The streaming model doesn't really help them
Yeah.
as much.
All
So
right.
yeah, go
So
see this
is this
movie.
a buy a ticket with cash, or watch on through your pass kind of a film?
Yeah, no, yeah, this is. I mean, as long as the bills are unmarked, then yeah, just pay with cash. Like just go ahead.
Are we changing our tune? We
And
we we want to support movies more so now. Um,
I just feel
I
that way
I would
about
personally
this
say
movie.
about this one. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I want this type of movie.
Yeah.
Not maybe not this movie itself is fine. I actually think it's a pretty good movie. I think it's actually pretty solid.
Hmm.
I don't have a whole lot. It's a pretty straightforward movie, which leaves me with less to say than a movie that had more glaring issues. The issues that we brought up were pretty nitpicky, which speaks to the quality of the writing and of the film itself. So, um, I want movies at this level to be made more, and the best way to encourage that is at the box office, is at the theater. So go see it, go check it out. Um, yeah, don't just
Maybe
watch
I
stuff
mean,
on
like you're
streaming.
saying with VHS and and TV syndication. I don't know what the statistics are specifically, but yeah, when this shows up on streaming, check it out as well. If you have the ability to go and watch it in theaters, check it out. I would recommend with your movie pass. But if not, it'll definitely be a fun watch. Just shooting the breeze at home.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a resurgence of like good movies that are low budget.
We do have a lot of films coming out. I mean, if yeah, it depends on like what our standard or what our sort of like way that we're evaluating things are. And if we're looking at strictly box office numbers, I'm not sure if that's the best way to gauge them necessarily anymore.
Yeah,
Like
I think right now
only a
it's just
few
superhero
kinds of
movies
films,
and horror films. You know,
and those are
those.
both in relation to like what their budgets are. Like as we already know, horror films are successful because they're so cheaply made that when they get released, like and they're done well enough, they can make up their money and beyond like super easily. Superhero movies
Yeah,
are having the opposite problem. That even though they're making $500 million, like they cost so much to make, so yeah, they're not gonna
right.
make a lot more. But
Yeah, and again, this movie had a pretty solid cast, and I just want more movies because movies like this will oftentimes star lesser known or maybe even unknown actors and actresses, and I want people to get find their way in. Like, I mean, Pedro Pascal started in such small roles here and there. Like when you see Pedro Pascal now, it's just like, oh my goodness, he's like one of the biggest stars in the world. But like he was only able to do that because he was in these smaller films and then kind of medium films. He was, in that he was in Equalizer 2, and then he was in this, and then he was on Narcos on Netflix, and like he just
Law and
kind of like,
Order a few times.
yeah,
Hmm.
he kind of worked his way up. Um, what was it De Almas? What's her name?
Ana de
Andrea De
Armas.
Almas. Ana de Almas. She did that too. Although in her case, she kind of did get um she had to show some skin in at least a couple movies, which is sad, but that's just kind of how it goes in Hollywood. Um,
Well, unfortunately, yeah. I mean, depending on the person, one could say the same thing about Zoe Kravitz in here, but she's been in a number
or
of things before this.
or even Sydney Sweeney, like
Mm-hmm.
um
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So anyway, the movie's pretty solid, and I have no problem recommending it to people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the love scene in the beginning, close your eyes, like Zoe Kravitz they both
Yeah.
disrobe,
Yeah. Yeah.
so they don't the love scene doesn't last that long, and it's over before you know it, and it doesn't get it's
Yeah.
explicit but not too
Yeah.
explicit. Just close your eyes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's a little bit of violence, a little bit of gore in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's
Last thing
about
I'll
it,
ask,
though.
actually, I just thought of it with the character's baseball history, and that being
Yeah.
such an integral part of like how he experienced, everything and what he was going through. Did you feel like the climactic payoff of that was satisfying?
Not necessarily. Uh, I kind of feel like, well, I mean, obviously the mom calling was a plot device because he's always talking to his mom. Zoe Kravitz's character makes mention of that. Um, and they do show in the very beginning, in like the opening credits or whatever, they do show like a baseball game, and the guys, there's a guy on third base and he steals home. So going back to the whole caught stealing thing, but that
Okay.
baseball game doesn't seem to be connected to anything else. It looked like it was like a minor league team that was playing or something like that. It was just there, but like it didn't really like connect to anything that was going on in the movie.
So that actually
So
is an allusion towards him, like, yeah, getting away with the money at the end of the film. Okay.
I mean, the movie. I mean, at the end, the cash didn't really belong to anybody. Everybody that would have any legitimate claim to it, and even that's kind of spurious because like they were all doing dirt and crime. But anybody that would have a claim to it, they were all dead. They were all murdered. You know what I mean? So was he really
That we
stealing it?
know. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, the title is still ambiguous to me. I don't know why they called it that. I'm guessing that the book that the movie was based on has details that give clarity and context to the title of the book and hence the movie by extension.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's pretty much all I got.
I'm speaking. Yeah, that I think that's all good to think about. But I'm asking directly in regards to the scene where he actually knocks the gun out of Roman's hands. Like it's kind of like the big moment where like he having accepted his past and what it is. He then uses it in his current circumstances to free himself from the pursuit.
Wait, Roman's hands. What was the scene again? I'm trying
So
to think what
when
you're
he's
talking.
chasing Roman, who ran out of the was it like a nightclub or whatever, or
Yeah,
or I guess it was not a nightclub. It was some
an
sort of
event,
party,
something.
some sort of event.
Yeah,
And the
like a
Jewish guys
wedding
went in a
party.
different direction, and he wound up pursuing her in the correct direction.
Yeah,
After he took out the little cue ball guy, he's
yeah.
he's walking towards like a dog barking somewhere, and then in a hallway, Roman pops up behind him and is about to kill him, but then he uses his wicked smart baseball skills to knock the gun out of her hand.
Oh yeah.
That's like the
And then
biggest payoff of like his whole baseball shtick in this movie. Yeah, did you feel
I
like it
guess
was?
the bat handle breaks, and then as she's going for the gun, he takes it and just impales her foot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, did it pay off? I don't know. Um, Probably not. It didn't bother me so much though.
Mm-hmm.
She was gonna go one way or the other, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think if you go into the film expecting that baseball part of his life to just really satisfyingly have a nice, bow conclusion, may not be as strong as you would want it to be. But then again, like I was saying, this might be the beginning of two more parts of a story. Yeah, I'm not sure how they wrote it.
You think they're gonna make a sequel out of this?
I know it's a possibility. Like you're saying this money wasn't anyone's in particular because the guys who had
They're all
like
dead.
they're all dead essentially. You never know. They could always be like, well, these guys owed other people and this money they needed because they're going to pass it over. And so those people come from out of town to get their money. Like they find them in Tulum or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Or they
I
find the
don't think I don't think
mom.
it really needs to have any sequel, personally. But if they do it, we'll see. What they do with it. But yeah. Anyways, the last thing I'll say, I guess in conclusion, so because it's based off a book, it makes me think this film feels as if like it's just kind of a summer light novel that you grab to read on a vacation, and you're not looking for the most eloquent Anna Karenina life changing sort of story or whatever. It's just a fun novel you want to read on a vacation. I think the movie came out in a similar way.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, it was pretty decent. It's pretty good. Go check it out. Um. Yeah, it's another movie based in New York City,
Hmm.
but yeah, it's a pretty good one. So
Hmm.
I mean, I hope that Hollywood, there's other places in the country outside of New York, uh, but whatever. Um,
Cat fans out there, let us know if this is your John Wick. I think it tries pretty hard in some regards to make it your movie. Let us know if it actually becomes your movie. Like John Wick did with for dogs.
yeah. Yeah. That aside, I think that's been our review of Caught Stealing.
Cool.
Uh, this has been another episode of the Super Cinema Bros podcast. We thank you for joining us. Special shout out again to Genobi 121 and Global 74. Thank you for your participation. Thanks for
Thank you. Thank you.
joining our conversation.
Yeah.
Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you'll be alerted at all of our new live stream episodes.
We got an Instagram as well.
Yep.
To be on
Just
top
started
of
Instagram.
when we're doing things, but we will be trying to review something every Monday still moving forward at 8.
Yeah. At Super Cinema Bros Podcast on Instagram. So go check us out, add us. And yeah, I think that's a wrap for this evening. Thank you again for everyone who can make the stream. And for anybody who's watching it later, yeah, let us know what you think after you see the movie. Feel free to comment, and depending on how you comment, you know, we'll make a serious effort to engage as much as we can. And yeah, we'll have a great time. So come join us. My name is Austin.
My name's Josiah.
We're the Super Cinema Bros. And until next time, God bless, grace, and peace. We'll see you in the next one.
All right, you guys. God bless. Thanks for joining.